How about that over Arizona as they get the Territorial Cup? Joining us now, as you just heard, the big voice guy. I don't know why he's not down here at Tempe's Twin Peaks at Marketplace, Tempe Marketplace. Not like he's got anything else going on. Season's over, right? I mean, there's nothing going on this time of year.
A lot of free time.
Why aren't you hanging out with us here, Charlie?
Well, boys, I realized about 10 minutes ago that you were actually in Tempe, and I'm like, I should have been in studio with you guys. We should have made an afternoon of it. Shoot. What are you doing?
We'd have a couple things to talk about, huh?
Don't tempt me with a good time.
Yeah. Hey, Coach, first of all, congratulations taking care of Arizona.
Yep.
That's awesome. You know, Sun Devil Nation loves that. And then Big 12 with their big announcements today. So many deserving players are on that list, and your buddy and head coach gets the Coach of the Year to Big 12. So things are starting off pretty well for this trip out to Dallas.
Yeah, it's that was when our SID Doug Tamaro came up to me towards the end of practice and said that Kenny had been named Big 12 Coach of the Year. That was that's a pretty special moment. You know what I mean? Like, that's hard. Like, it's just, you see a kid that's come from where he has, and watched him grow and develop. That was a pretty cool moment for me. And a lot of great players that are deserving of it. And he's well-deserved for this accolade as well. And super proud of him. And we've got a bunch more that we want to accomplish. And that's where our sights are headed as we head to Dallas tomorrow.
Charlie, it sounds like it's a very emotional time for you to see this young man you've been mentoring for so many years become the Big 12 Coach of the Year. What is it the most, if you can share with us, that brings that emotion onto you when you see this?
Well, and you guys know me pretty good. My whole life has been about and will be about people. You pull for people, and you root for the people that sacrifice for you. And I think in every facet of life, the connections that you make with people, and you do things for people. And when we stop doing that, what are we really doing? And so to see one of your people have the success and to be able to be along for the ride is something that's, very gratifying for me.
Well, and speaking of people, this Cam Scadaboo kid to come on from Sacramento, talk about how special he is. And I think what I hear you say, when you see guys work hard, develop, commit, they'll see basically the accolades of all that hard work.
Well, and on top of that, you build the relationships because you work and you grind and you do those things together. And when we were 3-9 in our first year, there was a lot of critics and skeptics, and and a guy like Cam, joining us, and probably has been counted out his whole life, was a little too small, a little too slow, a little this, a little that he couldn't play Power 5, Power 4 football, and all he does is go out and run people over every weekend like it's just a kid, a fat kid eating a Happy Meal, you know what I mean? So it's just it's gratifying to see good people and good things happen to them.
So you have lost your top receiver. So who is Sam Levitt going to throw the ball to, Charlie? And does the game plan change any at all in the passing game or not?
There he goes. There he goes again, Jimmy B, just ruining the high.
There you go. Leave it to Jimmy.
Yep.
Leave it to Jimmy.
Sorry, this is his last day.
You know what? Listen. We start everything off with the predicated on running the football. We've talked about that on the show. Numerous times, right? And we've got to be able to run the football. And then I think when you are able to do that, your throw game will come off of that. And I think we lost a good receiver, for the time being, but there's other guys that are ready and willing to step up. And, I just think that, yes, it hurts us. There's no doubt about it. But these guys are ready, and we'll have guys that are ready to step up and make plays in the wide receiver tight end room. And I feel really good about that.
Charlie Ragle joining us here, Fox Sports 910. Coach, in all the years you've been coaching, what is the highest level of a game you've participated in as a coach?
Well, I mean, okay, obviously at the high school level, we won state championships and got as high as you could get at that level. And then when we moved to the college level, we're sitting on the 10-year anniversary where I worked for the team down south, and we actually played for the Pac-12 championship in 2014 against Oregon out in whatever it is, the 49ers Stadium. We played out there.
Santa Clara, yeah.
Yeah, Santa Clara, thank you. And, we beat Oregon on a Thursday night with Marcus Mariota at there in Austin, and with 10-2, ironically, and played in the Pac-12 championship. So, this is basically I'm right where I was 10 years ago in that sense. Yeah. And so it's a little bit of unfinished business for me personally. And as I told the guys today, savor the moment. I've been doing this a long time, 25 years, and this is finishing my 13th year at the college level. These seasons don't come around very often. And our goal here is to make them come around a little bit more often for Arizona State. But they don't. These are, winning, double digits in a 12-game schedule is not easy. And
all right,
so I think. Go ahead. Yep.
I was just going to ask, Charlie, I'll put a smile on your face then. Is this the most satisfying season for Charlie Ragle that you have ever experienced in your coaching career?
Not yet.
Good answer.
Not yet.
Good answer. Man,
Not yet.
See, that's an answer of a guy that's been coaching 25 years.
Yeah, that's why I asked.
Not yet.
Okay.
I used to tell my kids when, I coached them at Chaparral, you guys know how to win a state championship? Mm-hmm. And I'm asking you guys that. Do you know how to win a state championship?
You got to win the last game.
I can at tennis. Yeah, you win that last game.
You got to win the last game, Coach.
But you got to be in the game. You got to be in the game. You got to play in the game to have a chance to win it. So we're in the game. So boys, you want to win a Big 12 championship? We're in the game. We got a chance, and more than just a chance. But you got to play in the game, and we're here. And if we win this game, we know what happens. That goes without saying. And we're here. Let's go win it.
And Charlie, you always talk about the process of keeping even killed in process. Has that changed at all this week? I mean, it's a Big 12 championship, and how do you keep that noise out of the locker room and just continue with that process into this game on Saturday morning?
I'm dead serious when I tell you guys this. You wouldn't even know if you were in our building that we're playing for the Big 12 championship. You wouldn't. We're just going to go play Iowa State. And that's been our mantra every week, and that's why this team is different. I've told you guys that, and I've said it many times. Like, you really wouldn't know. And it's just, we're going to show up, whether it's in Jerry World or in the streets out before you get to Jerry World. Who cares? Let's spot the ball and let's go play.
Okay.
So what jumps off the tape for Charlie Ragle when you watch Iowa State?
Well coached. These guys are a good football team. The first time in school history that they've won 10 games. So think about that. As long as Iowa State, talking about double-digit wins, think about that. First time in their history that they've won 10 games. And they got something to prove, too. We're a lot alike in certain factors. But these guys, they don't make mistakes. They play extremely hard. They're super well coached. And you just, I wouldn't say they're the most athletic team we've played. They're not. But you don't see teams getting big plays on them. And I think
Charlie,
that says a lot about what they do.
Okay, let me ask you a question then about your defensive secondary, because Rocco Beck, their quarterback, we know he can sling it, and they have two wide receivers that both went over 1,000 yards. So they have a passing game. Is it similar to any other passing game that you had seen throughout the course of the regular season?
That's a good question, Jimmy. I bet you started planning that one on Monday.
Yeah, definitely Monday.
No, they do. You're absolutely. I got to crush Jimmy.
Absolutely.
You know what? They're really good receivers. In 13, one of those two receivers is their punt returner, and he's probably the best pure punt returner that we've seen all year in terms of. He reminds me. Let me say this to you because I think it's important. And I'm not saying he's Christian McCaffrey, but of all the backs that I've played against, Christian McCaffrey did a great job of setting up his blocks. He was so patient, and then when he hit it like nobody's business. But he waited for the blocks to set up. This kid understands the game. 13. I know numbers, not names. To answer your question, we've seen really a few good offenses. I think these guys are, up there. I don't want to diminish what I'm saying about them. We've seen similar offenses for sure. And we've seen probably as good or more explosive than them. But again, I just think you have to tip your cap to them for how they're coached and what they do in execution. They are a big formation team. They want to formation you into mistakes, if that makes sense. A lot of formations. How are you going to line up to all this stuff? Can you line up to it and not screw it up? That's going to be pivotal for us on defense to make sure we align correctly. And then as long as we do that, we should be in really good shape.
Coach, appreciate your time. We want an extra hit out of you next week because we figure you're going to win on Saturday, so we're going to want to talk to you on Monday if your schedule permits, and then get you back on Thursday. So you do that for us after this W?
Oh, a double-decker for sure. Let me say this to you guys. First of all, you know how much I appreciate you. Second of all, I heard there was a little squabble about the post-game handshake. All right, let me just say this. I'm going to chime in. I'm going to add a little extra here.
Good.
If we can't go compete for 60 minutes and then look our brothers in the face and shake their hand, what kind of society are we living in? That's my opinion, and I'm gonna espouse it right here. And then lastly, last year my wife would always give me a little. You guys wouldn't know this, but my wife would give me a little code phrase, like a code word, just a little shout out to her. She'd be like, "Hey, throw this word in for me," and I'd say it. She'd just know that I was shooting her a shout out. But we didn't do that this year because we've been busy and we've been winning a bunch of games. So I just want to say to her how much I love her. Thank you, Carrie. Hey, boys, I'm out. Go Devils.
Wow. That's Charlie Ragle, assistant head coach at ASU. Love it. He's brought to you today by Crest Insurance Group. We appreciate Crest for bringing us Charlie each and every year here for our Sun Devil Report, offering you personal, business, and specialty insurance solutions for our clients across all markets. Check them out, crestins.com. So we'll get Charlie on Monday after this big win over the Cyclones, and then again every Thursday at this time. We'll continue. We'll talk some NFL football next as Week 14 kicks off tonight with a big one. It's Rocket Minutes with Jimmy B, Fox Sports 910.
Looking for